Beg your pardon?
You would continue boxing even if you would lose over there.
I beg your pardon?
Down goes Frazier! The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be.
Talking about how big George Foreman is, how terrible, I'm scared for my life, how relentless he is. That sucker ain't nothing.
Right up, I got a left jab and an all.
The time may have come to say goodbye to Muhammad Ali.
Under the blazing African sun, two legends stepped into the ring for a battle that would define an era. One, a relentless juggernaut feared for his devastating power. The other, a charismatic legend written off as past his prime. What followed was a fight that defied all logic, with the world watching in awe. Get ready to relive the greatest fight in boxing history. George Foreman was at the height of his dominance. At just 25 years old, he had bulldozed through every opponent in his path. A year earlier, he had dismantled Joe Frazier in brutal fashion, knocking him down 6 times before claiming the heavyweight crown. Then, he crushed Ken Norton, a fighter who had once broken Ali's jaw within 2 rounds. Foreman wasn't just a champion. He was seen as an unstoppable force of nature, a fighter who didn't just beat opponents, but destroyed them. Muhammad Ali, once the undisputed champion, was now on a mission to reclaim his place at the top. After suffering defeats to Frazier and Norton, he fought his way back, avenging both losses in hard-fought battles. At 32, he was no longer as fast as he once was, but his experience, intelligence, and unwavering confidence still made him a formidable opponent.
This fight, I had to make the world think my legs were gone. He can't dance no more. Previous fight show where he stands in the corner. I did that on purpose, man. Can I dance? Is the Pope a Catholic?
The deal was struck. $10 million, split evenly. But the real surprise, the fight would take place in Kinshasa, Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo. This event, named the Rumble in the Jungle, it wasn't just about boxing. It was a cultural and political phenomenon. Ali and Foreman, both brimming with confidence, misunderstood each other completely. Each thought they heard fear in the other's voice when finalizing the deal.
He's meeting his master, his teacher, his idol.
Each believed they were walking into an easy fight.
He's a bull, I'm the matador.
But in reality, these two men couldn't have been more different.
Well, being us both religious people, Muhammad and myself, he'll be very fortunate if I don't act as an exorcist and beat the devil out of him.
Foreman was sheer power, 40 wins, 37 knockouts, and a right hand that ended fights instantly. He didn't just beat opponents, he demolished them. Learning defensive tricks from Sonny Liston, he used a long guard to control his rivals before delivering crushing blows. Yet, beneath his raw strength, his footwork and head movement were dangerously underrated. Ali was a master of movement and mind games. His speed, footwork, and sharp jab made him unpredictable. Though his legs had slowed, his mind was sharper than ever. As the fight neared, Ali got into Foreman's head. He mocked him, calling him the Big Mummy, teasing his slower, methodical style.
This man has never knocked nobody out cold. He's a bully. He's slow. He has no skill, no footwork. He's awkward. And I have been given him a name. I named Floyd Patterson the Rabbit. I named Sonny Liston the Bear. And he shall be known as officially as the Mummy. The Mummy.
But Foreman wasn't laughing. He was furious. The fight was scheduled for 4 a.m., a strange time, set to match prime-time television in the U.S. But even in the early hours, the heat was unbearable. Humidity clung to the fighters like a second skin, and the packed stadium only made it worse.
Why are you all looking so scary? Like you're going to the funeral. I'm the one fighting George Foreman. George Foreman.
You didn't believe in all the stuff you've been reading about how hard he hit. George Foreman, knocked down Joe Frazier. He destroyed the kid. When you get out here, if you're afraid, just smile. Just act like you're happy. How am I gonna win the fight if I went out thinking like you? Damn George Foreman.
Ali stepped into the ring first, bouncing lightly on his feet, soaking in the energy of the 80,000-strong crowd chanting. Which translates, Ali, kill him. Foreman, however, took his time. His trainer kept him in the locker room, screaming at him, firing him up. Finally, after a delay, the champion emerged, eyes locked, fists clenched. The two legends stood face to face under the blazing lights. The crowd roared. The world held its breath. The bell rang, and Ali charged forward, opening with a feint. The world expected Muhammad Ali to use his footwork and speed to stay away from Foreman's devastating power. But instead, he threw quick combinations, trying to score on the points table. Foreman stared at Ali, cautiously trying to dissect his moves. Ali kept throwing his right-hand lead, trying to confuse Foreman.
Foreman dances now. Moves Ali with a right-hand lead again. Has Foreman's slight lead confused with that right-hand lead, which I haven't seen too many times before. Ali lashes out with a light left. A straight right hand. Forehand up close. George Foreman. George Foreman again.
Foreman barely reacted, continuing to stalk Ali. He precisely cornered Ali using his classic pushing tactic to set up a hook and landed a brutal left hand.
Left hand thrown by George Foreman, taking on the side of the head of Ali. The pace is tremendous in round 1. George Foreman.
Meanwhile, Ali's mind games had already begun, mocking Foreman at every clinch. Ali clung onto the ropes as Foreman used him as a punching bag, throwing hard punches. Ali looked momentarily shaken, but quickly recovered, dancing around the ring and talking to Foreman. As the round ended, Foreman looked confident, but Ali had already begun executing his strategy. Instead of running, Ali leaned against the ropes and let Foreman attack. The crowd gasped. Was Ali giving up? No. Ali had a plan. By using the loose ring ropes, he absorbed Foreman's punches without taking their full force. He blocked and deflected shots while taunting Foreman, whispering, "Is that all you got, George?" Foreman, believing Ali was hurt, threw even harder punches, swinging wildly. But Ali's defensive genius allowed him to survive. By the end of the third round, something shocking happened. Foreman was breathing heavily. His punches were already losing power. By the fourth round, Foreman was visibly frustrated. He was used to knocking out opponents quickly, but Ali was still standing. His punches became wilder, and his energy drained with every swing. Ali kept teasing him, saying, "Hit me harder, George!" Foreman continued throwing punches, but his legendary power was fading. By the fifth round, Ali struck back. He began throwing lightning-fast combinations, snapping Foreman's head back. He wasn't trying to knock him out yet. He was forcing Foreman to keep swinging and waste even more energy. Ali leaned in close and whispered, "You got 8 more rounds to go, George. Look how tired you are." As the fight entered the 8th round, Ali knew it was time. He suddenly took the center of the ring, something he hadn't done all night. Foreman, exhausted and desperate, threw one last wild punch. Ali dodged it easily and countered with a perfect right hand to Foreman's jaw. A powerful right hook. One final right hand bomb. Foreman's legs buckled. He collapsed, falling in slow motion. The referee began counting, but Foreman couldn't get up. Ali had done the impossible.
Believe it! And he's doing his shuffle. And I don't think Foreman's going to get up. He's trying to beat the count, and he's out! Oh my God, he's won the title back at 32!
The crowd erupted, chanting his name. He had reclaimed the heavyweight championship and proved once again that he was the greatest of all time. 20 years after the Rumble in the Jungle, the world believed George Foreman's boxing days were long over. Following his devastating loss to Muhammad Ali, Foreman stepped away from the ring, searching for meaning beyond the sport. But in 1987, at the age of 38, he shocked everyone, announcing his return. Critics dismissed him as too old, too slow, too out of shape. But Foreman wasn't chasing approval. He was chasing redemption. For 7 years, he climbed the ranks, proving that raw power never fades. Then, in 1994, at 45 years old, he did the unthinkable.
The former heavyweight champion of the world, Big George Foreman.
Facing Michael Moore, an undefeated champion nearly 2 decades younger, he endured 9 rounds of punishment. But this time, he didn't rush. He didn't swing wildly. He waited, just as Ali had once waited for him. In the 10th round, his moment came. A perfectly placed right hand sent Moorer crashing to the canvas. The world watched in awe.
7, 8, 9, 10.
George Foreman, once the reckless powerhouse, had now used patience and precision to reclaim the heavyweight crown, making history as the oldest champion ever. The same strategy that had once defeated him had now made him victorious.
And once again, heavyweight champion of the world, Big George Foreman.
But his true triumph wasn't in reclaiming gold. It was in transformation. The once intimidating fighter had become a kind-hearted, humble man. And despite their legendary rivalry, Foreman and Ali grew to respect and admire each other. Foreman never held resentment, often saying he was the greatest, and he proved it that night.
I remember hitting him so hard, I think around the stomach or the side.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and said, "Is that all you got, sucker?" And I started wondering, how in the world am I? But believe me, if there's anyone that's going to lay claim to the greatest, other than Joe Frazier, I'd have to put that tag on Muhammad Ali.
2 warriors, once enemies, now bound by history. As we reflect on this legendary fight, it's with a heavy heart that we acknowledge the passing of George Foreman on March 21st, 2025. A true icon, both in and out of the ring, Foreman's legacy as a fighter, a champion, and an inspiration will live on forever. Rest in peace, Big George.